Morning, fine, thank you.
It's been some time since you came and see me and have a chat.
Yes, true.
Hi, morning, Dr. Chiang. How's Penang? Good?
Yeah, everything okay.
Weather still good? Hot?
Raining.
Weather is hot?
Raining.
Very, yeah? Yes, I know. Okay. The other colleagues, please switch on your cameras. Hope to see you all. It is a very nice Friday morning over here in Glen Marie. Pretty cloudy, a bit of a rain earlier on, and that is a good sign because it has been hot in the past few days. So sometimes a change of a weather can be quite positive. Okay. So for today, thank you very much for logging in on time. For today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak on what APEL is, Accreditation of Prior Experiential Learning. I'm going to speak on where we stand, UOW Malaysia, what kind of access do we have to APEL, and what center that we are, and what are the limitations on us offering APEL. Okay, so there are quite a few things over here today that is quite informative that will explain to you on APEL itself. Now, prior to that, I will also touch on history a little bit on why APEL actually started. Those things are pretty important. Certain key aspects that normally our students will ask you when they are, because many times the students have a different understanding of what APEL is. They think APEL is a shortcut for them to get their degree or their diploma and so on. No, it is not a shortcut because at the end of the day, they still need to put in effort. Okay? All right. It's very interesting. So at any one time, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. You can put the questions in the chat or you can just ask me. All right. For those of you who just joined, greatly appreciated if you do switch on your camera. Okay. It is nice to have an interaction to see the people that I'm actually speaking to. Okay. Now, so first things first. Any of you, do you all know what APEL is? Have you heard about APEL? Have you? Yes? Yes? Thumbs up. You can even use this thing here, like example, raise your hand and all of those little gadgets here that you can give interaction. So have you heard of APEL? Yes, huh? All right. So can any of you briefly, or maybe in your own understanding, tell me what you think APEL is? What about Ming Han? Ming Han? Ken? Ming Han, are you there? See, itulah cikgu spot check. Tak ada reply. Ming Han. Yes. See. Okay. What about Miss Mira? Any idea? Hey, how come my law colleagues are they there? Prema, can you stand up and see whether your colleagues are there? Come on, guys, tell me, what do you think APEL is? What do you think APEL is? Datuk Sri Le Meng Han, what is APEL? What do you think?
Morning, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. What do you think APEL is? Right. What is your understanding of APEL? Ming Han? No, the answers are not on the screen. I just wanted to ask you, what do you know about APEL? What do you think APEL is?
Okay, actually, last time I went to the education fair, and
Correct.
actually there's really one student. He actually I think he's the how you call that? I don't know whether it's the parents or the brother. They actually came over. They actually asking me. There's one student almost failed everything in the SPM. Yeah, that's why. So they are actually talking, talk of actually maybe through the APEL because actually they know that actually I think they asked around already. They go to Sunway, Taylor, and then they came to UOW, and they said that okay, is there any way that these students actually they can join our any courses based on the APEL through the APEL? Then Actually, then after that, because I really not very familiar with this APEL, okay. Thanks to Gabriel, they always give us a training. But I'm sorry, lah. Okay, so actually, I don't know how to answer. Okay, so that's why I actually go
Okay.
to Wong, why can, okay, and then through the process, actually, but I see that. Actually, there's not much way that actually the student really can join us. Yeah. So that's why because of this, right? Then I'm telling myself that okay, if okay, there's any opportunity that Gabriel will give this training again, right? Then I think that I must join your training again.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Meng Han, thank you
Okay.
very much. So basically, what you have identified is a scenario on how APEL is able to assist the students in entry into formal education. So very good. So that is one scenario. So what Meng Han has actually explained is there's this student who did not meet the minimum entry requirements and he wants to actually continue. So APEL can assist. However, there are certain conditions that needs to be met before the students can be accepted. So it is not as so easy as to say that I have no SPM, I fail everything, I go through APEL. No, it's not as easy as that. There is an assessment process, an application process, and only when the student passes all of this will the student be able to enter. So very good. Very good, Meng Han. Thank you very much. That is one scenario over there, which I will touch on later. Okay, so with that, I think I will start to explain a little bit on what APEL is. All right, that's very important, and how it is having such an impact to many institutions of higher learning, and how APEL becomes an opportunity for individuals who did not have that opportunity to study in the first place. So if you look at the screen at the moment, you will see that APEL stands for, is an English acronym, Accreditation of Prior Experiential Learning. Okay, so the first word that we say that A stands for accreditation comes from the keyword to accreditate. That means to recognize. Recognize. So what do we recognize? We recognize prior. Prior means before, something that you have learned before, something that you have attained before. And what do you recognize before? Experiential learning. Experience learning. So that is what APEL is. APEL is the ability or the avenue to recognize a person's learning through what he or she has done previously. Okay, so that is what APEL is in a nutshell. Understand this, guys? Any questions? Okay, so that is what APEL is. We recognize a person's learning. So they did not say what type of learning. All right. So in Malaysia, learning can be divided into different criteria. I will touch into that later. All right. And then that is where it will be a little bit more interesting. So today's session, not only am I going to talk about what APEL is, but I'm also going to emphasize on the key roles of individuals when we as an organization that can offer APEL, we need to have these people and what are their roles. And they are advisors, assessors, and moderators. Okay? So key talking points today is the emergence of APEL. I will talk about how did APEL actually start. It started in 2011, 2011. So this year, APEL in Malaysia is roughly around 15 years. But prior discussion by the ministry was already in 2006, 2007, and so on. Then we are going to discuss, and I will explain to you about the types and objectives of APEL and the key roles in APEL. And the key roles are your advisor, your assessor, and your moderator. Okay, so that is what we are going to do. Now, so I think the key thing that we need to understand here is the emergence of APEL. Why did APEL actually start? So as I explained to you, APEL started in 2011. However, it was only during the Malaysian Education Blueprint 2015 to 2025 that a lot of emphasis was put into APEL. Really, really a lot. Now, the reason was because in Malaysia, the government identified that there were a lot of individuals who, in the early years of their life, did not manage to attain formal education. They did not manage to attain. It could be due to financial reasons. Education is expensive. And it could be also during that time, the situation did not allow them to do so. All right. Give me a second. Give me a second over here. Sorry, maintenance call from something. All right. So basically, it was the ministry's idea to say that there were many individuals in Malaysia who did not have that opportunity to study. Example, if you're talking about the 70s and 80s, many individuals after O levels or SPM started working. So when they started working, they climb up the ladder, but they reach a ceiling because they did not have formal education. So it is very difficult for these individuals to start from a diploma back again, correct or not? Let's just picture this. You are 45 years old and you are already a front office assistant manager, for example, assistant manager in the front office in a hotel, but you cannot climb to be a manager, not because of your competency, but because you got no qualification. So if because of SPM, if you want to do a formal education now, you go to college, you got SPM, can you do a degree? Guys, can do degree or not? SPM qualification, can you do degree immediately? Cannot. Yes, Dr. Chiang, you're correct. Cannot. Malaysia's regulation is such, you cannot. You need at least STPM, A levels or diploma. So he cannot do degree. He's 45 years old. He is assistant manager. Good fella, really can work, but cannot do degree. And of course, he cannot do masters. Correct or not? Because he can't even do degree, he can't do masters. The only thing he can do is diploma. So if this person needs to climb, he wants his master's or degree, it will be very strenuous and time consuming. He need to go through his diploma 2 years, then do his degree and so on. So what are the chances of this person actually doing his qualification? High or low? Because of this amount of time, do you think it's motivating for him? No, right? Very low. All right. So this is what the government thought. Many people who need the qualification, but because of circumstances in the earlier years, they are unable to do it. So that is why they started APEL. Okay, they started APEL here. They came out with methods or ideas to ensure that these individuals are able to attain or achieve the qualification. Okay, so in the Malaysian Blueprint 2015-2025, one key what do you call a structure or the key element over there of its 10 key reforms is number 3, which is nation of lifelong learners. They want individuals not to only stop at their undergraduate or their postgraduate studies. They want them to continue. They want people who did not have that opportunity to study earlier on in their life to now have that opportunity. That is why nation of lifelong learners. Okay, so that is why there was a lot of emphasis from 2015 till even today on APEL. Government is really pushing, encouraging those who are working, encouraging the you and me, many of you, it is time to do your masters, your PhD, and so on. So this is the opportunity where there are a lot of schemes, a lot of processes to make it easier and better for you. Okay, so this is actually the MQF framework, as you all will know, very simple. Over in Malaysia, and the education framework is these levels, tahap 1 hingga tahap 8. Tahap 8 is PhD doctorate, 7 is masters, 6 is degree, 3 is certificate, 4 is diploma. Very simple lah. And entry requirements for this are very simple. Okay, that means for you to do a diploma, you need O levels, you need a pass in BM and history and a minimum of 3 credits for most of the courses. All right. For you, for you to do a degree, you need A levels, you need a diploma, and so on. So in Malaysia, our formal education is very structured. And the structure is determined by this thing called the Malaysian Qualifications Framework. Remember the scenario I gave you about the assistant manager, 45 years old, only have a diploma, only have SPM. That poor fella can only enter into tahap 4, you see, level 4. He cannot go into 6, 7, or 8. He's 45 years old. All right. So if he really want to get his master's, he need to finish his diploma 2 years. I'm saying the fastest, 2 years. 45, now 47. Then he do his degree. He go into, let's say he got full credit transfer, at least another 2 years. 47, 49, 49 years old. And then he wants to do his master's, a year and a half. By the time he graduate, is already 51. That is taking into consideration, no fail, and everything is perfect, beautiful. See, nothing happened that impacts the way that he studied. So that is the key challenge over there. All right, it's very much a challenge over there. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, now do you understand why government is encourage and also introduce APEL? Because they want individuals, number one, to continue their study. Number two, use their experiential experience to be able to go into formal education. And number three, encouragement of lifelong learning. Okay, so that is why we have this thing called APEL. Any questions so far? I will go into detail about the different types of APEL. The first part here, in the first 15 minutes, is actually just to explain to you the historical element of APEL. Okay, why it actually started. Can? Boleh? Can, Okay. So, now, in Malaysia, who manages or regulates APEL? Ministry of Higher Education and MQA. So APEL, it is not a sub-of, it is basically a stand-alone under the Ministry of Education and MQA. So many things will need to follow documentation and the proof of evidence of a person's achieving before an award can be given. Before an award can be given. Okay? Now, so the two key types of APEL, there are a few different types of APEL, but the two key ones here will be APEL A and APEL C. All right. Now, I think better I will just use the next slide over here because I want to touch a little bit on APEL Q also. Now, earlier on, we spoke about why APEL was introduced. Now, I'm going to explain to you the types of APEL, apa jenis APEL. Not all APEL are the same. All right, take note. So we have at the lowest level, the first level is called APEL A. A stands for access. Okay, ACCESS. Access means go into a program. Okay, so take the scenario that Ming Han said earlier on. We have a student who failed everything. Then the parents now very worried, ask them, hey, my son want to do diploma, but cannot go into normal route. How? Then the only way he can go, either than retaking his SPM, is APEL A, SS. Okay? A stands for SS. SS means untuk masuk. Masuk lah. Okay? So there are certain conditions stipulated that will allow students to take APEL A and will be able to go into a particular program if they pass. They must apply, they got assessment, they got tests, and then if they pass, they can go in. Understand? Okay, I'll give you another example. Let's say I got degree, only degree. I got no masters, but I got many years of working, teaching, and so on. I'm 50 years old. I am a senior manager, but I got no masters. I want to do PhD. Under Malaysian structure, can or cannot? Cannot, right? So what I do is this. I will apply APEL A. APEL A got condition for a student to apply APEL A PhD, I need to be, I still can remember, 35 years old minimum, a minimum of a degree, and more than 10 years of working experience. I got I got more than 10 years working experience. I'm older. My age is above 35, and I got my degree. Understand? So I go to MQA, I apply APEL. They will call me for interview. They will give me a test. They will give me interview. A few things, portfolio and so on. If I pass, okay, they will give me a cert. And that cert states that Mr. Gabriel now is now eligible to enter tahap 8. Tahap 8 is PhD, right? Tahap 8 dalam disiplin, what discipline? Let's say pengurusan business. With that, I bring to, let's say, Taylor's or Sunway. I want to do your PhD. So they will ask, normally they ask for cert, right? Show me your master's. I say, I don't have, but I got APEL. This is my cert. They look at that, they can take me in. Understand? Can? So that is an example. Why I use the degree PhD level? Because all of you here, minimum, all of you got degree already. Some of you got master, some of you got PhD. So I use a bit higher example, so it's easy for you to relate. Understand, guys? Okay, so that is what APEL A is. Okay, so the scenario of people asking, can I go into your masters? Now, here in UOW, we get a lot of questions on APEL. Okay, where we have students who work already. Now they want to do masters, but they got no degree. And let me tell you guys, a lot of people out there working, we don't have degree, because they work so many years, 20 years. They got experience, they are managers, but they don't have degree. Okay, so they want to do masters, cannot. So we channel them to APEL A. Now, guys, please take note. We, UOW Malaysia, is not bukan an APEL A center. We cannot do APEL A. We don't have the license to do APEL A. Okay? Now, who can do APEL A? MQA. MQA, you go to MQA website, MQA office, they can do APEL A. Mainly, okay? Now, certain institutions of higher learning like like Open University, like Wawasan, and so on, and certain other institutions, they have applied to be APEL A center. We did not apply for APEL A center. So in the scenario of Ming Han, when the parents ask, you can explain. Then you say, sir, you want to apply? We are not an APEL A center. You can apply through MQA. Channel them to MQA. MQA, government website. Inside there, all the application is online there. Then the candidate will select a center for assessment. Faham? Okay, so in the future, when you all got questions, because 90% of the questions on APEL is not enough entry requirements to join a program. 90% of your questions are like that. Okay, so that is where the issue is lah. Okay, so that is APEL A. Now, any questions, guys? APEL, I haven't touched C and Q yet, so this is only A. Why I want to stress a lot here? Because even though we are not a center, most of your questions when you go to education fair is on APEL A. Okay, so understand, guys? So A stands for access. Access means go into a program. It is for people who don't have enough entry requirements to join a program. Okay, good. Okay, thumbs up. Good. Next, APEL C. We, UOW Malaysia, University of Wollongong Malaysia is an APEL C center. Now, please take note. As you all know, we have 4 entities. Betul? 4 entities, right? We have University College in Penang. We have University of Wollongong Malaysia, Glenmarie. We have UOW Malaysia KDU College. And we have UOW Malaysia College, which is the nursing college. only, and I repeat, only University of Wollongong, Malaysia is a APEL C center. Both colleges are not an APEL C center. Penang is no more an APEL C center. Previously, they were an APEL C center. Now they are not an APEL C center. Okay, so only University of Wollongong, Malaysia is an APEL C center. So now I'm going to explain what APEL C is. C stands for credit transfer. All right. Because University of Wollongong, Malaysia, which is our university in Glenmarie, is an APEL C center, all programs under the university, student can apply for APEL C. Okay? Now, so what is APEL C? C stands for credit transfer. It means, example, a degree program in the business school. I give example of degree program in the business school. They have roughly around 40 courses. All right, 40 subjects right now. 120 credits, roughly around 40 subjects. Just average 3 credits per course or per subject. Let's say I have been working for many years. Many years I've been working. Now I joined the degree program, and then I see one of the subjects name. Subject is called Introduction to Marketing. Got right, Minghan? Business school got Introduction to Marketing, right? Example lah, marketing lah. I am now a marketing manager in DG. Okay, but I'm doing my degree. So I got experience. Okay, a lot of things that I know is actually more than what is Introduction to Marketing. So I apply APEL C. C, credit. So I apply, I go to my my head, I go to my PL, I go to my ADH and say that, hey, I'm already marketing manager in DG. This subject called marketing, I want to apply for APEL C. The reason is because I know about this course, I know about this subject. I know everything already. So I will go through a process of assessment. If I pass the assessment, then I will be credit transferred for that particular course. That means I no need to do. And the credit is recognized. Understand? So this is what APEL C is. Now, we are a APEL C center. So any sub-program in the university in Glenmarie can apply for APEL C. Okay, so that is it lah. That is our center. Okay, now how many of you remember last time we have a student called Prem? Prem is actually the DJ, mix FM DJ. He did degree with us under the communication school. You know, this guy got how many years of experience? He's not young. He's only, I think he's in his mid-40s or late 40s. Now, he has many years of experience running events, public speaking, and so on. Many years of experience. So when he did his degree, now, his situation is the same. When he was young, he did not have that opportunity to study, to further study, because during that time, economic crisis. Remember the 90s, 96, 97, 98 economic crisis? His time, during that time. So couldn't. He did American transfer degree, expected to go travel, but did not make it. So he started working and he excelled in his job. He was a very good DJ, he was very good and so on. But now he reached a ceiling. So he needed to do his degree. So he do with us. Then he applied APEL C. So he applied until as high as 26 credits, you know, roughly like that lah. So he did a lot because many of the subjects, he said, I know. Then he went through assessment. After going through assessment, he managed to get roughly around, lebih kurang I'm saying, 26, 28 credits. So his degree that is 120 now become 90 plus earning. So it encourages him, who is a person who is not young, to continue to study. So that is what APEL C is. Understand this, guys? Okay. It is not for entry. Entry is APEL A. APEL C is when you're already in the program. Okay, so can all the institutions do? So let's say a student who do UOL program can apply for APEL C or not? Can or cannot? Boleh? Tak boleh? Tak boleh. Why cannot? Because where is UOL program placed or located? In the university or in the college? College.
College.
I'm doing lip reading. College, correct. And is the college an FLC center? No, cannot. Tak boleh. So that is why, as you all know, we got early childhood kan? Diploma in early childhood kan? We got candidates who want to apply for FLC but cannot because early childhood is under the college. So they cannot apply for FLC. Now you may ask, Gabriel, why we don't apply for all institution? All institution. Yo, the process of applying is same as applying for new program. Very, very stringent. A lot of work. Okay. So sometimes, honestly with you, it is a business decision lah. We apply for institution with the most program. Even when Penang used to be an FLC center. But even with them, during the renewal of the license, they did not even have one candidate. So they said they did not want to continue. Because it's a business decision. Whereas we in the university, we continue because we got students who come to apply FLC. Okay, so that's APEL C. Okay, now what about APEL Q? Q is the highest level. Q started in 2021. They introduced in 2021, and now there are some institutions that are doing it. Q, the word is qualification. Q, qualification. Qualification means you demonstrate your competency to a qualification. If you go through the assessment, they will award you the full qualification. Example, let's say Tony Fernandez. You know who Tony Fernandez is, right? Air Asia punya big boss. He wants to do his masters. And in an MBA, and you know, guys, in an MBA is very practical. It is for an executive. And Tony Fernandez is already running a multi-billion-dollar company. So technically, he can apply for APEL Q. Q, qualification. So there are assessments. There is going to be assessment on him. He needs to write essay. He needs to do reflection. And this, and it's not easy. It is stringent. And then if the board feels that he meets the knowledge and ability of an MBA student, he can be conferred an MBA. That is APEL Q qualification. Are many institutions doing it? No. Why? Because the assessment set by MQA requires very, very, very stringent. You know, the learning outcome. Student need to prove program learning outcome, which is very, very difficult. If a student do a degree with you, they got 3 years to prove as they go along. But this one is an assessment for them to demonstrate program learning outcome. So it's not easy. Some institutions like SAGI and so on in Kuala Lumpur, they only do for diploma level. Diploma level lower, then they do APEL Q. All right. We are not an APEL Q center. We are only an APEL C center. Okay? Understand, guys? Okay, good. We are on the right track. Any questions so far? APEL C, yeah? So, when people ask during education fair, is UOW Malaysia an APEL C center? Yes, we are. The University of Wollongong, Malaysia is an APEL C center. Okay? So, types of APEL as we have A, assess. Under A, there's this thing called M, assess through micro-credentials, which is something which we don't do because we are not the center. We are a C, credit transfer, and Q, qualification. So these are the different types of APEL. The 3 key ones are A, C, and Q. Majority of the student you will meet in education fair is A. How do students apply for A? Go to MQA website. You just have to type in the search APEL MQA, everything is there. We can channel parents to that because that is official government website. got English and BM translation. So don't worry. If they are not so good in BM, there's the English one also. And application is all there. All the centers are also there. Good. So now let's go back to APEL C. Remember I explained to you it is prior experiential learning. So a person like Prem, he's in his working, he has done a lot of public speaking and so on. That is why he applied for APEL C. Now, in the regulations of APEL, a person can get credit transfer, or APEL recognizes, APEL C recognizes 3 types of learning. One is called formal learning. Formal learning is a learning that meets certain regulatory bodies like SPM, like a degree, a master's, and so on. So, for example, if you have completed your degree, that is called formal learning. So, in Malaysia, if you go through the formal learning path, you will get credit transfer when you go on to the next level. For example, diploma to degree, you can get maximum of 50% credit, 50%. First 30% will be C's and C's, and then the subsequent 20% will be C's and above. Okay, so that is formal learning. That is what we do. Students from tailors coming over to our program, we evaluate them, and then we say, tell the tailor student, the tailor student with a diploma in business come over to do our degree, we do credit transfer, kan? Simple credit transfer. That is called formal learning. Now, under APEL, we also recognize non-formal learning and informal learning. This is the beauty of it. Okay, now non-formal learning is learning that we take on our side. We learn our own initiative, but we do not get an official recognized cert. For example, you join a program, you join a course under Coursera. Okay, you join a course in Coursera. That at the end of the day, you pay, you get the cert. But that cert is not under MQA, right? It is not a degree, it is not a master's, it is not a diploma. No, it's just a cert. So and so, Mr. Leminghan has completed something, and so on. Simple. Coursera. That is called non-formal learning. I joined a pastry class. Let's say a Sunway Hotel School. They have 4-day pastry class. I'm interested in pastry. I join. Non-formal learning. The cert that I get is not a level 4, it's not a level 6, it's not a master's, it's not a PhD, and so on. Understand, right? Okay, so that is called non-formal. Then we have informal. Informal is our own initiative. Informal learning is any learning that you attain knowledge through your own initiative. Let's say Prema. Prema loves photography. She buys a camera, she goes to YouTube, she learns the skills, she buys books. Then she walks around and she takes snaps and she learns on her own. For many years, she's doing that. She never go for any class or anything, but because she enjoys it, that is a hobby, we call it hobby, right? Correct. But are you learning something? You are learning. Okay, many of us learn that way. Many of us learn informally when we watch YouTube channel, how to make nasi biryani. So we learn the recipe there. We learn. So that is called informal learning. Okay, so formal learning, very straightforward. We have non-formal and we have informal also. So under APEL, we recognize formal learning refers to learning that occurs in an organized structure environment. It is usually intentional, and the assessment of learning leads to an award of a formal qualification or certificate, macam SPM and so on. Then we have non-formal. Apa tu non-formal? At the bottom here. Refers to learning that is intentional. When you join Coursera, you intentionally join. You don't accidentally join. Okay? Which may be conducted in a structured and organized environment. This form of learning may not necessarily lead to a formal qualification. There's no formal qualification. The cert that you collect from Coursera at the end of the day doesn't make up a degree. It could be just individual cert. Okay, short courses, seminars, and so on. And of course, we have informal, refers to the knowledge and skills acquired by the applicant based on his or her self-effort. Self-effort, it is usually incidental or unintentional. When I was young, I loved to do computer assembly. I make my own computers. We used to buy parts in the computer shop, come back, motherboard, then we slot in. You know, we do all of this. Then we trial and error. Then we install our own MS-DOS, Microsoft this operating system. Then we adjust the BIOS. I may be using languages that is not familiar to you. But that was how computers were. Okay, that was how computers were. So I learned. So now if you ask me, if I'm joining a diploma in computing program and the first semester got introduction to computer assembly, I will apply for APEL C because I know how to do. Okay, I know how to do. But that doesn't mean I pass in application. I can apply because I have done informal learning. I learn. Understand this, guys? Okay, understand? Okay, very good. So that is the types of learning. So when we talk about APEL, it is like this. APEL C is, who is APEL C for? Who entered through APEL A or conventional route. So basically, we will assess the course learning outcome. So remember my example, I've been assembling computers. So now I joined a diploma in computing. One of the subject or one of the course is Introduction to Computer Assembly. Then I can apply. So the lecturer will look at the subject's learning outcome. Then they will assess me in that. Say, Gabriel, you say you know, you're applying for APEL C, very good. The course learning outcome states, number 1, ability to identify computer parts. Number 2, ability to assemble and run a computer. And number 3, be able to troubleshoot any problems. So these are the 3 CLO. So the lecturer will do a test with me to make sure I can achieve that. If I achieve, then I am successful in my application. Then I no need to take the subject and automatically I get credit transfer. If I fail, I say I know. But the last part out of the 3 CLO, the last CLO over there, remember how to troubleshoot? I fail. First 2 I pass, but the last one I fail. I don't pass. And I need to take the subject. I need to take the subject. Even though I only fail 1, but the other 2 I pass, I still need to take the subject. Okay? So that is called APEL C. Okay? So it is, what do we do? Students' competency versus CLO. We assess students' competency. Students say that they know. We base it on the course learning outcome. Okay? So we assess the student. Okay? Any questions so far? Can Okay? So any course. So if the course is like assembly is a practical assessment. If the course is, let's say, accounting, students say, I'm working in an accounting firm before last time. So the student applying for Introduction to Accounting, Accounting 1, like the Frank Wood book, 1, basic accounting. So you may need to do a test with them. You do a test. But make sure that the students achieve the learning outcome. So maximum credit, how much? Maximum credit is 30%, and that's a lot. So if you look at a degree program that is 120 credits, student can apply a maximum of 36 credits. That is the beauty of it. 36 credits. So it is nearly lebih kurang 1/3 off. So if you're seeing a 3-year degree, if this student really can apply for all, maybe it is left 2 more years for him or her to complete the degree. That is the beauty of APEL C. Okay, that is the beauty of it. Okay, so as I say, only University of Wollongong, Malaysia is an APEL C center. So the center coordinators over here, it will be Hazim and myself. So Hazim and I, we are the APEL C Center coordinators. We don't do assessment to student. We don't do. We explain to the student what APEL C. We help the lecturers. But the lecturers, the school, is the one that do assessment to the student. Why? I am not a subject expert. Meng Han is the finance expert. If student apply for finance, I cannot do. He must do. Because he's the expert. I do not know about finance. Okay? But we explain. We help the lecturers. Okay? So, what is the maximum? So, as you know, formal learning from a diploma to a degree is 50%. All right? Non-formal FLC is 30%. But formal plus non-formal maximum 60%. So MQA states that the maximum credit transfer a student can get is 60%, formal and non-formal. So let me give you that scenario. Let me give you a very beautiful scenario. Student work in the hotel industry for many years, now is assistant front office manager. Student already got his diploma in hotel management, now want to do degree. He comes to us, he wants to do degree. So the diploma go to degree is called formal learning. He can get maximum 50% credit transfer. Understand? But because his work experience, he is the front office assistant manager, he can apply for FLC, another 30%. So let's say this guy is brilliant. So maximum 60%. So guys, the degree in hotel, 120 credits. Minus 60%, only do 48 credits to get his degree. Only 48 credits. Now, this person will need to spend a year and a half. If he's lucky, a year, but I would say a year and a half to complete his degree. That is the beauty of FLC. Okay? Now, will all students apply through FLC must get 30% of the credit? No. Some students, they only apply for 2 subjects. So 8 credits or maybe 6 credits. Prem. Remember, I give you an example of Prem. He applied for more. He was, I think, 20 over to nearly 30 over or something like that because of his experience. Okay? So applying for APEL is based on learning outcome. It's not based on how many years I'm working. I can work in the kitchen. I can tell you, let's say Mira is assessing me. I say, ma'am, I've been working in a hotel for 15 years, you know. I got a lot of experience. But she checked, what do I do every day? Only peel potato. 15 years, peeling potato only. Okay? So my breadth of knowledge may not be there. All right? So it doesn't mean I will get 30% full FLA even if I've been working for 15 years. The assessment is by individual course. Okay? So that is, in a nutshell, what credit transfer is. Understand, guys? So that is what the FL is. Any questions? Any questions so far following, guys? Boleh? Can, okay. Now is 9:48. I will give you all a short break. Concentration span normally 45 minutes. So please take a 11-minute break and we'll come back at 10. Okay? Okay. Take a short break. 10 o'clock we start back. Thank you. All right, fellow friends, it's 10 a.m. Hope you're back. For those who are back, if you're able to, please switch on your cameras. Okay. Now, if you can see on the screen here, I'm showing now the official APEL website. You can see over here, see, mqa.gov.my is a government website and is APEL. Okay. Now, I was going to click APEL A here just to show you. So this is APEL A, and under APEL A, we have Bahasa Melayu, we have English. I think most of us understand BM. Then it actually explains. Okay, so under here, tahap kemasukan, that means the level of entry. I see a question here from Sheila about diploma holders to do PhD. So I will show you here. You see, guys, kedoktoran, syarat permohonan, entry requirements. Terbuka kepada warga negara, bukan negara, that means open to all, minimum 35 years old. Okay, then you have at least a degree or something else. That means ACCA also can. Okay, so you have degree, then at least 5 years of working experience, and you need to do the application. How much is the application? For Malaysian is 750 ringgit. Untuk bukan warga negara, that means foreigners also can do. Foreigners also can. Then this is the one, USD 750. 750 is the same, but the price, the currency is different. Mestilah government pun want to make money, kan? But so you understand, guys? Everything is here. So I always tell, sometimes when I do a product counseling and whatever, go education fair, 90% of the question on APEL comes on this. So I normally even have my phone, I show them. So you just go to the government website, government APEL, everything is there. Then see, Pusat Penilaian APEL, the center, APEL center, you can click all the center there. Then they explain to you, Wawasan Open University, what level they can do and so on. See, everything is there. Okay, and the best thing is you use the government website is any changes that you just tell them refer to the information there so that we won't, because sometimes government change policy, change prices, so we ourselves won't get caught. You know, just refer to this. Faham guys? Boleh? Okay, so that is the, as what we said. Mana ni sekarang? Sini. Alright, so the website, as I showed you that website, please have a check. It is quite interesting, have a read, because sometimes it can also benefit you. Maybe some of you already have your degree, you want to do your masters, you want to do your PhD, or your degree, you want to do your PhD. Maybe you can use the APEL route. Who knows? Okay. So how do we implement? So now it's a little bit on the operational side, implementation. Here we're going to talk about the general policies and so on. Okay, so as what we said, it is open to all students, and it is registered with the higher education provider. That means APEL C is only open for students who already joined us. We cannot do APEL C credit transfer for a student who has not joined us. So a student cannot say this, sir, I got many years of experience. I may join UOW if you can tell me how many credits I can get from APEL C. Cannot. We cannot do APEL C before the student join. Understand? So you cannot use it as a marketing tool or a tool to pull the students in. You cannot. The student must already join the program, and then only they can apply for APEL C. Now, I asked the officers, kenapa? Why cannot? Historically, there were some challenges. Some institution already janji the student, you can get 20 credits, I guarantee you. You see that? So it becomes a marketing. So when the student join and do evaluation, alamak, they don't meet the entry they don't meet APEL requirements, but because already janji, they also give. So the standard go down. Cannot. So now they say tak boleh, no way. Student must join the program first, only they can apply for APEL-C. But you can explain to student what APEL-C is even before they join the program. Definitely, that one is no problem, but they cannot apply until they join. Okay. So as what we already understand, APEL-C is prior experiential learning, non-formal and informal. So it is open to all levels of the MQF. So APEL-C, all levels, from level 1 to level 8. Here in UOW, University of Wollongong, Malaysia, we have a diploma. We got level 4 until level 8. All right, level 8. Now, for postgraduate program, limited to only courses in programs conducted via coursework and mixed mode. APEL-C cannot be applied for a student who say for the student who is doing PhD. Cannot. PhD is not coursework. It is by research. Okay. The whole PhD, one course is by research. You cannot apply for APEL-C definitely. But if it is coursework, like DBA, heard before, right? DBA. DBA is coursework. That one you can apply for APEL-C, individual coursework, but PhD cannot. Now, over in University of Wollongong, Malaysia, here, for our level 7 masters, we have masters, which is an MBA, is coursework. We got masters by research. Masters by research cannot apply APEL-C. MBA can, because MBA is individual courses. So student can apply for individual at a maximum of 30 credits, at 30% of the total credits. Okay. Higher education providers. Okay. So next, award of credit, program approved by ministry and obtain a PA. So what type of program can any program in the institution that has achieved at least PA. PA stands for provisional accreditation. FA is full. So at least a PA. So technically, all programs under the university, because all our programs minimum PA right now. It's either PA or FA. So it's all programs. Okay. So credit transfer without grade and not credit exemption. So student who is successful in APEL-C, they will get credit transfer, not exemption. Now, guys, ladies and gentlemen, do you know the difference between credit transfer and exemption? Sometimes can be quite confusing, right? Okay, let me explain to you now. Now, in the Malaysian context, now why I say Malaysian context? Because as you know, the word subject and course is different. Malaysia, we call course. In Australia, the thing that we use course, they call subject. You see now that is where the difference. So it's the wording. Now, credit transfer. If a student is successful on credit transfer, it means they do not need to do that course again, nor do they need to do a replacement. They will just, this credit that you attain will be transferred over to the main program that you are doing. That is credit transfer. Exemption means a person may be exempted from a subject or course, but they still need to pick up credits. They still need to pick up credits. Okay, we here in UOW, we don't practice exemption. We don't practice. But some other institution, they practice. Some students go over there, they already met their limit for credit transfer. Let's say they met their limit already. Then they are still say, but I've done this. Then the program leader may say, yes, okay, no problem. I will recognize your marketing for exemption, not credit transfer, but the 4 credit of marketing, you must do something else. Then you pick in an elective or you pick somewhere else or something like that. That means that 4 credit must be replaced. Okay, you do another course, but you don't do marketing. Now, why the student don't apply for credit transfer? Because already maximum already 30% already. Let's say the student 30% already. You mustn't forget, we have students who have 3 degrees. I have students here who is doing PhD with 3 masters. We got students like that. And we got students who are doing masters even with a PhD. It is normal. Okay, it is normal. The thing is, we only see the normal situations on diploma to degree, 1-to-1. But there are some people who have multiple qualifications, multiple. Okay, having 2 PhDs, we had one student already got 2 PhDs and was applying for the third one. Why? It's up to them. It is some individuals just want, they want to learn more maybe. Okay, so it is very possible. Okay, understand guys? So even though you come in with 10 degrees or 10 diplomas, the maximum credit transfer I can give you to your degree is only a percentage. I cannot give you more, even though you have 10 diplomas. So that is why some other institutions practice it. Okay, credit transfer sudah penuh, tak boleh already, but I give you exemption. But you need to pick up credit somewhere else. Okay, understand? So that is what it means. So that is why even under this was extracted from the ministry website. They want to clearly put here credit transfer without grade and not credit exemption, because under the Malaysian terminology, credit exemption is practiced in some other institution. Some institution practice credit exemption. Okay. Okay. Now, courses that form part of the program structure under professional bodies may be considered for APEL C. Yeah. So if now this is where it becomes a little bit important. I mean, I would say important now. If your program is regulated by an external body, okay, like engineering. Engineering is regulated by the engineering board or the board of engineers and so on. Nursing is regulated by the nursing board. Okay, we can only offer APEL C or go through the process if it is accepted by the professional body. So student join engineering program. Okay, join here in University of Wollongong, Malaysia. He can apply for APEL C only if the board of engineers say can. So the board of engineers may say, no, we don't want any student to apply to APEL C. Even though they say they got a lot of experience or whatever, no. Then we cannot. We tell the student, yes, we are an APEL C center. However, the governing body or the board does not allow this. Too bad. The control is by the board. Understand? So nursing and so on. And so the key ones are board of engineers and then a nursing board. These are the 2 key ones that normally, I would say will have autonomy on allowing or not allowing APEL C to actually take place. Now, have we met any situations like that? No. So far, we have no students that applied through engineering program. So we haven't tried. But if there is a request, I will then speak to the head of engineering school, Dr. Yap. I said, Dr. Yap, there's this student applying for APEL C. Now I need you to speak to board of engineers and see whether they accept or they don't accept the process. Not passing, just the process, whether they accept APEL C on this or not. They may say no. They may say no, then cannot. If they say, okay, can, then we will start the process. Okay. Now, this is case-to-case basis. The board of engineers may tell you this. For these core courses, cannot. But for these sub-courses, can. Or they may say, all cannot. Or they may say, all can. Up to them. It's up to them. Okay. So they need to do that. So the ministry also say we are responsible for securing approval from these boards. Okay, we are responsible. Can. So award for credit through APEL C cannot be transferred automatically to other program, minimum 80%. So it's basically, let's say a student apply for APEL C in Bachelor of Business, and the student was given one course, accounting in Bachelor of Business. Suddenly, halfway through in year 2, he wants to transfer to Bachelor of Marketing. automatically, even in the Bachelor of Marketing, there's an accounting course. It is not automatically transferred the APEL. It needs to meet at least 80% of the learning outcome. Okay, you still need to make sure there's 80%, then can. If no, cannot. Okay, award of credit to APEL equivalent to the credit value of the course applied for. So students who apply for accounting, there are 3 credits inside there. Example, accounting is 3 credits, got 3 learning outcome. Student cannot look at the syllabus and say, sir, can I only apply for 2? Just 2 credits, cannot. Because he know these 2 he can, 1 he cannot. You need to apply for the full course. Cannot. Okay. And credits awarded of the course applicable to the subject to the specific course applied for doesn't impact or is not applicable to prerequisites. Example, accounting 1, accounting 2. Got that? For accounting 1, accounting 2, right? Accounting 1 is the prerequisite for accounting 2. If student apply and is successful for accounting 2, doesn't mean automatically he or she is successful for accounting 1. They need to apply and go through assessment. So there are cases that student apply for the higher level, pass, but then apply for the lower level, after doing assessment, fail. Then the student need to do the lower level, but the higher level already credit transfer. It happens. Okay, so we all may laugh. How come higher level he get, lower level he don't get? Some students are like that. Got right? Because sometimes fundamentals you think that you know, but you don't. Okay, so it has happened before. Separate assessment for each course. Credit cannot be awarded by cannot be granted on a block basis. It means if student apply for accounting 1 and accounting 2, 2 separate subjects or courses, you cannot do one assessment to cover both. It must be separate assessment. Okay. APEL C for all courses except project or dissertation. For degree students, student cannot apply APEL C for final year project. Cannot. Final year project, how to apply for APEL C? Final year project is the whole project. It's like a dissertation, right? Not. You cannot. It is coursework based only. Coursework based only. Even project also cannot. Okay, one final project also cannot. Okay. Executive diploma I won't touch because it is something that we don't offer over here. Okay. Implementation. Now, so here we need to comply with the garis panduan. The guide, that means everything needs to be transparent, equitable, and evidence-based. We need to see evidence of students achieving learning outcome. That is what we are looking at. Students who apply for FLC before registering for the relevant course. So students need to apply before they sign up for that particular subject or course, not after, so before. So that is why what we do is here, when students sign in for the program, in year 1, semester 1, they will already start applying for their APEL. Okay, because they don't need to wait for that semester. They will do it much earlier already. Okay. So courses awarded appear in the transcript as CT, credit transfer APEL, not taken into account in the calculation of GPA, CGPA, credits counted towards the total credit required for graduation. So it is the same. So APEL credit transfer, it is the same as if a student transfer flow through from diploma to degree. Have you all seen our students from diploma to degree? Inside their transcript, it is written credit transfer, right? Credit transfer, credit transfer, credit transfer, credit transfer. So it is the same. So if it's APEL, they will fall into that credit transfer column, but it is not just CT, it is CT APEL. It is the same process. So APEL is actually the same process as how a student would do, or the documentation when they transfer from diploma to degree internally flow through, or from Taylor's Sunway to UOW. It is the same. Okay? Macam itulah. Alright? Now, and of course, we will give them a Malaysian qualification statement. That is a living cert. Any students that go through the APEL process, they will be given a MQS. MQS is the Malaysian qualification statement. It is like a living cert. It's a living cert. To say that that's like dulu, we had that leaving cert in our secondary school. So any students that go through this, we will need to issue this. The school will issue, signed off by the registrar. The registrar will sign off. So here it is signed off by Shankar. Mr. Shankar will sign off on this document. Okay. Now, what if a student fail at APEL assessment? If student fail APEL assessment for the course applied for, will have to complete the course through the usual process. Student apply for accounting, do assessment, fail. Too bad lah. You got to sign up for the course and go to class lah. You have to go to class because you don't meet learning outcome. And then we keep all the records. Now, how's the process? Now, this everything got money. So the application for each subject or course is RM200. Only 200. Cheap, right? Cheaper than signing up for the program. Let's say the program is 1,500 ma. So you go through APEL, 200. If you pass, credit transfer process is 500. So if a student go through APEL, fail, 200 only lah. Okay. But if do already 200, that pass, there is a 500 charge for credit transfer. That means mainly you will save half the cost, lebih kurang half the cost. And another thing is time lah. You will save time. That is how it is. All right. Now, are these fees the same for all institutions? Is this set by the government? No. Normally, institutions will charge between 1 to 500, 100 hingga 500 for application. Credit transfer depends. Some institutions charge 100, 200 until 1,000. Some institutions charge per credit. So if you pass and one credit, accounting is 3 credit. One credit is 300. So it is 900. So for us, we don't want that headache. No need that headache lah. Senang kita buat 200, 500 straight. Any cost that you do. These are the charges. Understand this, guys? So student apply, they go through the process. After they go through the process, stringent, very stringent process. Then if they pass, 500 for credit transfer. They fail, sayonara, go and do back the course. Go and sign up next semester, do finance. Okay, so how is the process? The process like that lah. First, pre-application. We will brief. So how it works is like this. Student interested in APEL, they will go and see their program leader. First, contact student, obviously program leader ma. So say, program leader, I'm interested in APEL. The program leader will introduce the student to us, myself and Hazim, my department lah. We will explain to the student apa itu APEL. And I can tell you many students don't know what APEL is. We explain. Okay, very similar briefing I give the student. Okay, then if the student say, I understand, then we will now we will speak to the school. I will speak to the head of school. Let's say, I'm taking example business school. So now I will speak to Prof. Sotesh. Prof. Sotesh, confirm this student. We have already briefed on what APEL is. So now I want the school to appoint an advisor. So Prof. Sotesh now will appoint an advisor for the student. It could be the program leader, it could be the ADH, or so on. Okay? So once appointed, that's an advisor. Now, who's the advisor? The advisor is the one that will advise the student about the course, general program, the program structure. My side advise the student on what APEL is. There's a difference. Apa itu APEL and your program is different. Apa itu APEL is procedure, explain to student. The program is where the advisor will explain to student, and then the advisor will also explain to the student the assessment mode, how the assessment will take place. Then the student, okay, sir, I can do, ma'am, I want to do. They will do a self-assessment form. So the advisor will give the student a self-assessment form. And in there is a 500-word essay that the advisor will give the student to write. And the essay is very much related to why they want to apply for APEL C for this particular subject course. So if the subject is accounting 1 under Ming Han, he is the advisor. He will give a student the question, why do you think you are eligible to apply for accounting 1 as an FLC? So students may say, dear sir, write a little bit lah. I'm after SPM in year 2002, I joined accounting firm as a junior clerk. Then I worked my way up. I did auditing and so on, and now I know, he's cakap lah sikit. Then he will evaluate. After evaluating and speaking to the student, then Ming Han will decide whether the student is eligible. We don't want students to waste money, to throw money away just for whether they are eligible or not to do this. If eligible, they say, student, you see, I see that you have enough here, you have met certain criteria, doesn't mean you pass, then they can do formal application. So there is a lot of communication with the student. Some students think, remember I gave you the example, I worked 15 years already, but they only peel potatoes for 15 years. Peeling potatoes for 15 years doesn't mean you learn a lot, you're only doing the same thing. All right. So this is where we explain to the student. I will already explain under my briefing. My first thing when I brief the student, I already explained to them. Many students think that, no problem, sir, marketing, I know. After you explain to them, they will say, actually, I don't really know. Okay. But however, people like Prem, remember I gave you the example of Prem, the DJ. You look at his CV, you'll be amazed. He did so many things, running events, doing this, public speaking, this and that, and he can prove to you why every day he's on radio. So under the course of public speaking, under the Creative Arts SCCA, they have public speaking as a subject. Okay, he met already because that is his job. He do, but then he still need to do assessment. He need to be interviewed and so on. So it happens. That is how it is. Okay. Understand, guys? The process. This is the process. So it's a very stringent. As you can see, many even pre-application we already brief. The advisor already speak to them, before even they apply, before they even spend money, before they pay 200 ringgit, we give this for free. Because we don't want student to pay. After that, cannot, we all very good lah. So how do we do assessment? There are two types of assessment. It can be challenge test and or portfolio. The word challenge test here means any kind of assessment other than portfolio. It could be written exam, oral test, project, a sit down 3 hours exam, and so on, anything. So it can be written test, oral test, and so on and so on. Now, and or portfolio. Portfolio is a record of a person's work and they need to explain. Now, depending on the subject or course, we will then, the advisor will decide which is the most suitable assessment method. If it is accounting, basic accounting, how do you want to assess LO? Business lecturers, business colleagues, or any colleague, accounting subject, we are evaluating learning outcome of an accounting subject. How do you want to assess the learning out? Which tool, which method? Come on, guys. Mei Ling, what do you think? Or business colleagues? Accounting. Come on. Written test.
I think written test is the best.
Yeah, written test, correct.
Cannot be oral test.
Cannot be oral test, ma. So very straightforward. It's written test, right or not? Straightforward. Very good. This is how it is. Okay. Now, if we want to evaluate something to do with events organization, okay, events planning and organization, something that take a long time one. So if I tell you, sir, I've been doing this for 20 years already, events organization, how? I cannot wait for 20 years for what? So what do I do? Can I do a written test? Cannot. Because I will BS all my way through, right? You know what BS is, right? So, oh, I did this, I did that. So you ask student we do a portfolio. Show me evidence of you did in 20 years. Show me pictures. show me testimonials, show me this, show me that. Then we do interview. Then we evaluate the learning outcome. If you say you have done for 20 years, that time you got no evidence. So it's very straightforward. If a person say, I did for 20 years already, no evidence, don't apply lah. Because tak ada bukti. You understand? Evidence. You tak ada bukti. Whereas the accounting scenario, the first one here, where when you answered correctly written test, what is the bukti? The bukti is the test. You demonstrate to me on the test, that is your bukti. Right now. Whereas running event is different. You show me evidence. If you don't show, no evidence, don't apply. Cannot. I'm very sorry. You cannot apply. Simple as that. Okay? So we also had one candidate. She was applying in the culinary school as a chef. So she applied for kitchen work. Chef pastry. 6-hour test. The learning outcome requires her to produce 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the LO. So the practical exam was actually 6 hours. Morning, I remembered, start. No choice. So we asked her, kita boleh buat 2 hari, 3 hours, or you want to do one shot 6. So because we just want to check learning outcome. She said 1 shot 6 because she needed the time to make sure that the products got time to set. Set means take time to rest and so on. You know, I make bread and make cakes need time. So they buat 6 jam. So we do 6 hours. Then at the end, she showed her product. She explained learning outcome is, one learning outcome is not only the production of the product, but ability to explain why it became out like that. Explain. So she explained, look at it, this is what, and so on. Pass. It is called a challenge test. It is called a product assessment. She did the practical exam. Our chef lecturer. Understand? So this is the method. It can be challenge test, it can be portfolio, it can be challenge test and portfolio. Who decide? Assessor decide. Assessor decide. The assessor is the subject expert. They decide. Okay? Depending on suitability with course content. So, what do we assess? We got to make sure every CLO is met. As I explained to you earlier on during the briefing, you have to make sure that every CLO met. Every CLO met. So if there are 4 CLOs, course learning outcome, student pass 1, 2, 3, and fail number 4, the whole thing fail. Must do the program. I must do the course. So they have to pass everything. It is not average mark. It is passing everything. Passing mark is 50, 50. Okay? So you must pass every CLO, 50%. Siapa set? Ministry yang set. Ministry yang set. Okay? MQA and ministry set all this thing. Okay? So the process is like this. Start. Learner undertakes self-assessment exercise. If it is eligible, yes. Learner submits APEL application form and fees, RM200. Buat assessment. After buat assessment, if pass, yes. If no, appeal. If appeal fail, they can appeal, pay RM100. But normally most of them don't appeal. Okay, because they know already. They always have the opportunity to appeal. If yes, endorsed by Academic Board Senate, credit awarded, notification to learner. If fail, no. If fail, sayonara, bye. No, habis already. Finish. Then inform the student. The whole process, even here, must go through school assessment board, must go to institution assessment board, must be presented in the Senate. Same. So the last time when it was presented, I, being the coordinator of the APEL Center, I need to present. Fellow Senate members, we have this candidate, so and so, went through APEL. This person has demonstrated competency and met, I must say, and met all course learning outcomes of the course that he applied for. Then this is the evidence. Itu. Okay? Boleh? Boleh, ya? So itu APEL lah. This is the process. So student, as this process over here, this is in written form. Student will apply, student will go through this process and so on. Okay. Now, what are the roles? So now this comes down to the role. There are 4 key roles or individuals that plays a very important part in APEL itself. Number 1 is the most important. It is called learner. You know, our ministry, we don't call them student, you know, must call them learner. Okay lah, learner lah, kita panggil dia learner lah. The person who is applying for credit transfer based on APEL. This is called the learner. Okay? So it can be a student from business school, engineering, and so on. They are called learners. Then we have this thing called advisor. Advisor is UOWM appointed staff, subject expert who will provide general advice to the learner with respect to APEL C process and timeline involved as per flow chart. This is the advisor. So here on my side, I am not the advisor. I am the APEL C coordinator. I explain student on the APEL. When the school take over, like example, business school, Prof. Sotesh may say, Nora, you become the advisor. So Nora explain, or normally it's the program leader lah. They will explain to the student. Then we have the assessor. Assessor is the subject expert that the student is applying for. Let's say the student is applying for accounting. I use example. Let's say Ming Han is the accounting lecturer. Then Nora will say that, Ming Han, you are now the assessor. All right, because you are the subject expert, you will need to come up with the assessment for the student. And then there is a moderator. A moderator is like the second marker, is like what we do lah. So it could be the same moderator as what you do for your normal subject. Okay, so these are the key roles of the individual. Okay, now, so here it is in writing. The advisor is the expert of the program. It could be senior lecturer, program leader, or ADH, in which the learner is applying for credits. The main role of the advisor is to provide advice to the learner with respect to APEL C process and timeline. The advisor will give timeline. Okay, so they may say that, okay, this is where you apply, your assessment will take place 2 weeks time, 3 weeks time. The assessment, even though it's an exam, does not need to fall on exam schedule. Exam end of the semester, no need. It can be any time, but we will tell exam department because the whole assessment will be managed by exam department. Exam department, yes. So remember I gave you an example last time where the practical exam and so on. Keen is our exam, the manager of the exam department. She sent her staff there, you know, to make sure the sticker put up, the clock is there, that everything start on time, the record, and so on. And we will put a video camera so that the 6 hours of practical exam is video camera because MQA wants evidence. Bukti, really, this person can do evidence, but we will check once. After that, they never check. They trust us already because we are a big university. We are not just some roadside institution. So after that, it's pretty good. Okay, but we keep everything. Okay. So that is the advisor. The advisor will guide the learner on self-assessment exercise and advise the learner to submit the 500-word report and so on. So that is the role of the advisor. From the self-assessment data and the report submitted to learner, the advisor will determine the learner's eligibility to apply for APEL. So the advisor plays a very key role. Normally, advisor will work with the assessor to determine whether the student is eligible or not. If the advisor say you are not eligible, no bargain, cannot do, no. Okay, don't waste time. So it is the advisor that will tell the student. They have the final say. Okay, so that's what advisor. Then we have the assessor. The assessor is a subject or course expert in the subject in which the learner is applying for credit. The main role of the assessor is to design and create the appropriate assessment and marking rubric that will be used to assess the learner's achievement. So that is what the assessor is. Okay, the assessor will also mark or evaluate the student. If it is a practical test, the assessor will be there to observe. If it is a presentation, the assessor will be there to give marks. Okay. The assessor needs to provide learner with criteria for assessment decision, opportunity to discuss assessment result, and appeal opportunity. So before you give the assessment to the student, we will tell the student how they will be assessed. Example, if it is accounting, we will tell the students beforehand, student or learner, you will be assessed through a 3-hour paper. Okay, 3-hour paper that will cover all of this aspect. And it will take place next week, where, what time, and so on. So the learner will have time to do some revision. No problem, no problem. They can do revision, they can do whatever they want. All right. So that is what the assessor will and the advisor will advise. Okay. And of course, we have the moderator. Easy lah. Moderator is the second marker. So after Ming Han marked the paper already, let's say the accounting, and the student pass, there must be the moderator to make sure everything is done properly. It is the same process. Then you use the same moderation form. You know that moderation form is marks, then comment. Itu saja. We want to show evidence that proper methods were practiced. Okay, so far okay, guys? Okay, so these are the key roles, the key individuals when we look into APEL implementation. Okay, when you look to APEL implementation, these are the key roles. So on our side, as the APEL-C Center, after we brief the student, everything clear, then we will pass to the school, then the school will take over to assess. All the records are kept in my APEL-C Center. Since the first student until now, I have all the hard copies here. 2 years ago, we did an audit. MQA came to do an audit and they looked at us and they were like, wow, very good. We are also quite blessed because we don't have many candidates. Okay, so it was easy. Everything was there. They even approached Prem to be the spokesperson for MQA. They approached our student, Prem, remember the DJ, to be the spokesperson, to be the face of MQA, so that MQA can market the importance of APEL. They want people to do this. So I do not know how the discussion, but Prem agreed and they all discussed. So quite good for us. Our reputation in doing this is quite good. There's no issue. So everything has been done in a proper manner. Okay. So, keep records. The main thing about APEL is this, records. You need to keep records because you are demonstrating. You make sure that if the student able to demonstrate competency, we need to keep those records on that competency. That is why even if it's a 6-hour practical class, practical assessment, we record and we keep the video. So anytime, even 5 years down the road, we are supposed to keep 7 years, right? Or something like that. In that 7 years, anybody can ask me, hey, you gave so-and-so credit transfer APEL for this particular course subject. Can I see? Can. Come, see. Everything is there. We just want to see the evidence. Evidencing is very important. So, evidence, first part is APEL-C Center. 2, every institutional assessment board, IAB, there is a record. Because I present, and in the Senate, also in the minutes, also got record of APEL-C students' grades. So everything is recorded. Okay, so that is the key part over there. Evidence is key. Evidence is key. Any questions, guys? We are coming to an end. Actually, we already reached the end already. That is the process. Okay, so I believe so. Yes, we did it. Yes, it is a good Friday morning. We managed to cover. Now, it is no point going through a training or a briefing session where there is lack of understanding. So I hope that you understand now the key things. Accreditation of prior experiential learning APEL is not only one. There are many types. There are 3 key types. A stands for assess, C credit transfer, and Q qualification. We at UOW, University of Wollongong, Malaysia, is an APEL-C Center only. All other institutions are not. Any program in University of Wollongong, Malaysia can apply for APEL-C. However, most of the queries we get is on entry requirements. And is that APEL-C or APEL-A? A, right? A. APEL entry requirements. A is access. students inquiring about not having enough qualifications. Are we an APEL A center? No, we are not. So what do? We channel the students to the MQA website as I showed you, right now. And it's very clear. They tell you the course, they tell you how to apply, they tell you everything there. So it's the best. And they apply online. Whereas for us, APEL C is when the students already signed in and they get credit transfer. What is the maximum credit transfer for APEL C? 30%. Okay, so students can come in the formal route, 50%. In the APEL route, 30%, but both of these maximum is 60%. So a student, if they get maximum credit transfer with formal route and APEL is 60%. Example, 120 credits for a degree. If they go in through this 60% minus 60%, they only do 48 credits if it's maximum. But normally it's not maximum lah. You all know, right? You give credit transfer, at the end of the day, students don't get maximum one. But maximum is 48 credits they need to do, which is very, very low. Okay, and the process itself. Okay, so students, the process is they need to meet learning outcome, all the learning outcome of that particular course for them to be awarded the credit transfer. And is there a charge for APEL C application in our campus? Yes or no? Got charged or not? Is it free? Is it free or must charge? You can write there or you can unmute. Must charge, right? How much?
200.
How much, Prema? 200.
200.
Very good. 200. Okay. If they pass and they want to get credit transfer, how much?
500.
Very good. 5. If they pay 200 and they fail, what do they do?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, correct lah. Bye-bye. Bye-bye means you take the course, right? Now, you sign up, you take the course. Okay? So, what are the roles? What is the role of an advisor? What does the advisor do? Who is an advisor and what does an advisor do? Come on, guys. What does an advisor do? Advisor, come, Minghan. Your mouth moving a little bit. Just unmute it, come.
Okay, advisor will actually advise the student to see whether the student can actually being enrolled to the program, something like that, as I remember.
And yes, you are correct.
Yeah,
That means whether the student is
that's what I remember.
eligible to apply for APEL C, right?
So
now.
whether they can be applied for APEL.
So good. So normally this person, who is this person?
Sorry, you say again.
Who is this person? Sorry?
Usually with the program leader.
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
So Mira answered it. It could be the PL. It could be the
Yeah,
ADH. Normally appointed by the head
who
of
actually
school.
expert of the program. Yeah.
Yes, very good. Expert of the program, not of the subject, of the program. So they can advise the student, this program is like that, very big. How many subjects inside, how many courses, then you're applying for that. Then we have the assessor. What about the assessor? The assessor is?
Assessor is actually the subject expert.
Very good. That one is subject expert. So they are the one that will develop the
assessment, everything.
Very good. Okay, you guys are following. Very good. See, Fadila wrote on that PL, expert. Jennifer, very good expert of the program. These people prefer to write, don't want to show face one. Ini semua baik-baik punya orang, tak mau tunjuk muka punya susah. Mana ni? Anyway, they are all good. Can also, at least they can write fast so that I can read over there. Very good. You guys are following. So that is what APEL C is. And now let's take a step back. Why do you think the government introduced this? Why did the government introduce and encourage this?
Because of the lifelong learning. They want to encourage people to continue learning.
Minghan, you must be a good student when you were studying last time. See, you no need to take notes. You just listen to a lecture. You can pass one. That is how it is, right? Good. Because government wanted to encourage lifelong learning. They wanted to push on lifelong learning, and they found out that many individuals who have worked now got position but reach ceiling because no qualification. So they want to push that. That is what they are doing. Okay. All right, guys. So Very good. I am happy that through the answers that you've given me and through the answers that are actually written here under the chat here also, I am very happy. I'm very happy to know that you guys at least know what APEL-C is, what we stand for over here. And next time when you go for any counseling, students ask, then you immediately you can tell them, oh, ma'am, for your son, you need to apply APEL-A. Give them the website straight away. So you even though we don't do, but we help them. We help them to go. The only thing is this: most of my participants today are from the college or from the nursing school, which your programs are not under FLC. But it's good. It's good to know. It's good to know because when you do counseling and so on, eventually there is also opportunity to advise parents and so on. Okay. So, fellow friends, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to see you all today. Thank you very much for your attention, your kind attention. And if you have any further questions, feel free, drop by my office, always open. We can talk about this because this is something that if you look into UOW, University of Wollongong General, especially the global enterprise, we want to push more what you call this kind of levels of learning in our colleagues, all right, in the market, not only those after secondary, but those individual, what you call professional learning. So we want to push that. All right. So yes, Komati, you're correct to allow those who still wanted to learn. So thank you very much. Have a very good weekend and stay safe. Take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thanks, Gabriel.
No problem. No problem. Cheers.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.